Hello, friend. Thank you for being a subscriber to the Saint Expedite and Lives of the Saints websites. I sent out a survey last week asking you if you wanted to receive a regular email and podcast from the Lives of the Saints, and the answer was a resounding yes. So many of you answered, and I was heartened to see all the wonderful comments. Thank you. So, with that, I want to welcome you to the first edition of the podcast and newsletter. I am honored to have you here. Today, we will experience this wonderful saying by the great 14th century Catholic mystic Meister Eckhart. He is known as the man from whom God hid nothing. This quote, I believe, speaks to the heart of us all. He states, "God is at home. It is we who have gone out for a walk." When I first read this quote over 20 years ago, it instantly stunned me. I felt it deep in my soul. The simplicity and the truth shocked me to my core. When we go through the trials and travails of life, we often look at the heavens and shake our fists. We cry out asking, "Why is this happening to me? Where is God?" I know this very well. So many times in my life when I was brought to my knees and asked the very same thing. And one day in the midst of this pain, I read this quote and I realized exactly what it was trying to say. Often, as we move through life, we call upon the divine and we get the answers that we seek. But as time passes, we forget those times when the divine favored us and we got exactly what we prayed for. We forget those times. When we forget those times, it is due to the forgetfulness that overtakes us when we enter dark nights of the soul. Once in the grip of the dark times, we become focused on the pain, and it causes us a kind of spiritual amnesia. It causes a kind of questioning in our souls. When this happens, we venture off into our own minds. We take a walk through the dark corridors of fear, shame, and doubt. We forget the times when the divine answered our prayers. Yet the whole time, God is at home, waiting for us. Yet we leave this house of faith because the pain is almost too much to fathom. But in fact, if we sit and ponder this, we realize that doubt is a pain too lonely to know that faith is his twin brother, as Khalil Gibran once said. This instinct to forget is very natural, for even Jesus himself had a moment of doubt. If you recall, when he was on the cross, his words in the book of Matthew was, my God, why hast thou forsaken me?" Most people who read this gloss over the enormity of those words. Do you see what he is saying? Despite knowing he was favored and blessed by the divine, he had a moment when he thought his Father had forsaken him. Do you see the implications of this? But once he had that moment of doubt, when he had that moment in his mind, he went out for a walk. But then he remembered his faith, and in the book of Luke his final words were, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." He came back home at that very moment. The moral is that pain and hardship cause us to lose our bearings, and we forget that the divine has our best interest in mind. But we need to come home because the divine is there. It is we who have gone out for a walk. I want to thank you for reading or listening to this podcast. If you were helped by this and feel it can help others, please share this with those you care about. They can subscribe to the newsletter in the link that you see or the link below. In other news, The following feast days are coming up, and as a subscriber to the mailing list, you will receive an email. The next one is the feast day of St. Matthew the Apostle, and on the 21st, the Holy Archangel 9-day novena will commence. On the 23rd, we have the feast day of St. Padre Pio. If you would like to see and hear more of these podcasts and emails, please consider a small donation to keep it going. This site is for you. Speak to you soon.